September 9th, 1969. The Intermunicipality Society for Public Health, IMOG, is incorporated in southwest Flanders to reduce the ever-growing waste mountain. Now, more than 45 years later, IMOG has become a professional waste processing company that operates in 11 municipalities. This is equal to 230,000 residents. Waste is no longer a burden, but has instead become a source of raw materials and energy. Did you know that every person generates approximately 1.5 kilos of waste a day? You could easily reduce it, for example by composting your fruit, vegetable and garden waste at home. But also chickens, low-waste shopping, or placing a no printed advertising sticker on your letterbox can help reduce the waste mountain. You can best take items that can be reused to your local thrift store. Try to recycle as much as possible, because your efforts will ensure that waste is given a new lease of life as a raw material for new products. Correctly sorting waste at the source results in an optimum quality for further processing. IMOG placed approximately 300 dual-glass recycling containers in the area, collects the glass and cleans the containers, which means everyone can deposit their glass waste close to home. Paper and carton and the well-known blue bag for plastic, metal and beverage packages, PMD, are collected once every 2 weeks at your home. The dual collection vans take this waste to the sorting location in Harelbeke. PMD and paper and carton end up on their own sorting belt and are processed through a bag cutter and a filter. The optical sorting unit differentiates the various types of plastic by way of an infrared scan, which is able to determine the type of material, whereby compressed air is used to remove the desired fraction. The quality checks are done manually at the end. The compacting machine presses the separate fractions into bales, making them easy to transport to the next recycling company. Grass and green waste is composted on the site in Moon. The green waste is first mixed and chopped and then placed in heaps. An active aeration system ensures that the heaps are ventilated. The breathable membrane prevents possible odor nuisance. The temperature rises to such a degree that all the germs and weed seeds are destroyed. After the compost heaps have been turned over several times, the compost is filtered in the computerized refining system. Each year, approximately 35,000 tons of green waste are processed into approximately 10,000 tons of Vlaco compost. The compost is sold in bulk or in practically packaged 50-litre bags. It's also possible to use it as potting soil based on compost and ground cover. In addition to having your waste collected at home, you can also still sort your waste at the container site. You can currently sort up to 40 different types of waste at the site. IMOG's initiative of the free collection facility is a way for you to do some actual recycle shopping. This is the place to bring your plastic, mattresses, flower pots, polystyrene, you name it. Green waste turns into compost, but even construction and demolition waste, old metals and fat and oils are valuable raw materials suitable for reuse. An honest system was set up in accordance with the DIFTA principle, which is short for differentiated tariffs, in order to finance the costs of processing based on the polluter pays principle. A person who deposits larger amounts of waste pays more than a person who brings less. The system calculates the correct amount based on the type of waste that's recycled and the weight at entry and exit. The multiple stream fraction is a combination of plastics, wood and/or metal from bulky waste. IMOG is able to retrieve new raw materials from this waste. The same facility is used to cut, remove iron and clean wood waste, so it can be used as a raw material, for example, in the chipboard industry. The treated wood is then further processed in our own materials facility, where the wood chips that are unsuitable for recycling are prepared for the power plants, where they'll be used as fuel. Each year, IMOG generates approximately 30,000 tons of biomass, which is used to supply electricity to 32,000 people. The materials facility is also a storage and clustering area for raw materials such as plastics, PVC, polystyrene, polypropylene, HDPE, ABE, and so on. IMOG uses the temporary storage area for excess raw materials and debris from local councils. Debris and soil are turned into granulate and earth, which means these fractions are also recycled. A facility has been set up on the site to clean the incinerator ashes. A system of filters, drums, magnets and induction separators is used to remove as many valuable components from the ashes as possible. Iron, stainless steel and non-ferrous metals such as copper, zinc, brass and aluminium. The residue is granulated for roadworks at the landfill. Non-recyclable waste is turned into energy in the incinerator. The operator of the rotating bridge mixes the supplied waste and feeds the two incinerators that operate at an average temperature of 950 degrees Celsius. After incineration, the flue gases are purified in a high-tech facility. The latest techniques are used to remove all the harmful particles from the flue gases. Dust, acids, bases and heavy metals are removed from the flue gases and the washing water. Dioxins and nitrogen-oxygen are separated catalytically and turned into harmless components. The heat from the steam boiler generated during this incineration process is used to turn the water into high-pressure steam. This steam drives a turbine, and a turbo alternator uses it to generate power. Did you know that 2 kilos of waste generates 1 kilowatt-hour? This means that IMOG generates more than 30 million kilowatt-hours annually, enough to power the households of 30,000 people. Research has shown that the internal processes generate some residual heat, which can be used as a power source for heat networks. Heat networks are a more environmentally friendly alternative for individual boilers. The principle is simple. Hot water is transported to radiators of houses, apartments or industrial locations through pipes that are located under the public road. A heat network was first constructed to supply heat to a company located next to the facility. This company uses the heat to dry the concrete floor elements, a process that would have otherwise required 130,000 litres of fuel oil. IMOG has concluded agreements with grid operators for future housing projects and public buildings in Kurna and Harelbeke to be connected to the heat network. This means that approximately 2,000 housing units will be heated by the incineration facility. All the processes are checked in the control room. This guarantees a safe and environmentally friendly incineration. The measurement data show that IMOG is meeting the target values. The results are continually posted along the public road. A landfill is a suitable addition to an integrated waste policy. To this end, IMOG operates its own Class 2 landfill site in Moon. Strongly reducing the size of waste, compacting, securely covering it, and arranging an efficient water management are key elements for proper storage. A green fence of 14,000 trees hides the site from view. A landfill is as closed as a cocoon. A watertight wall surrounds the site and provides added security. Leachate is pumped up and transported to the biological water purification facility. The water is post-treated naturally by marsh plants. The soil, the roots and stems of these plants break down any nitrogen, phosphor, and heavy metals. In the closed landfill, oxygen is extracted in order for organic material to turn into biogas. IMOG extracts this biogas from the landfill site, after which the landfill gas engine turns it into renewable heat and green power. We generate enough annually to supply power to approximately 1,350 families. The residual heat is also put to good use by our own heat network. We've set up a treatment facility for the waterbed on top of a finished landfill. This facility is used to remove the water naturally from the dredged material from rivers. This is achieved by evaporation and by draining the excess water to the water purification facility. This technique is also referred to as lagooning. The freed sand and soil is reused as much as possible as soil or as raw material. IMOG transports the materials on water as much as possible. IMOG has set up its own loading and unloading dock along the Boshout-Kortrijk Canal. This saves tens of thousands of trips by truck. IMOG is committed to the modal shift from the road to the water. In terms of land use of the landfill, placing photovoltaic solar panels is economically and technically viable and an ecologically sound use of the site. We currently have 4,400 solar panels on site. IMOG also provides information. TV commercials, the IMOG Waste newspaper, the collection calendar and company visits are all ways we use to help you prevent, compost or recycle waste. IMOG also provides various tailor-made services. We collect waste from your home, supply waste islands, remove weed, salt roads, and so on. IMOG is always ready. This requires a professional logistic organization and can only be achieved by having thorough planning, a well-maintained vehicle fleet, and special equipment. As you can see, IMOG can answer any of your queries. Feel free to call us on the free telephone helpline. We're more than happy to assist residents in our area. Together, we can continue to build an integrated waste policy by adopting a professional, dynamic, and future-proof approach.